guys, Mr. Hawkeye here, showing off a deck tech for my mono green Woof Elf deck, which is just Elves and Wolves. This deck has worked okay for me. It's just yet another gimmick deck by me, but this one actually can win, unlike some of the other ones I've been doing. Alright, so let's go. This is basically a lot of cheap creatures, just Elves and Wolves, and one plant. Just flavor. It's a kind of an early aggro deck for the most part, but it can last late game with some big creatures. Let's take a look at what we've got in here. So we've got 4 copies of Spire Tracer. Just 1/1, has great evasion. Usually you drop this thing turn 1 and you just attack with it every turn. Got 4 copies of Young Wolf, who's another great creature. He's got Undying, so you can block down with him and get him back. A couple copies of Fog, because one problem this deck has is if they start laying some big creatures, you can't get in anymore. So the Fog's here so that they swing in, you Fog, and then you swing back for the win the next turn. No one ever sees Fog coming. It gets them every single time. 1 copy of Genesis Hydra, just to help you get, you can go get like a Timberwatch or a Paragon or whatever with you. Plus it can be a big creature by the end game. 4 copies of the Elvish Visionary, who's just another cheap elf. Get you some card draw, which is always good because you kind of run out of stuff in your hand very quickly with this deck, since most of the stuff is pretty low cost. We got 4 copies of Wandering Wolf. This is another little wolf character. This guy, he can't be blocked by creatures that have less power than him, so if you hit him up with a Timberwatch Elf or something, he can usually get in. Couple copies of Beastmaster Ascension. Now this sometimes can take a little while to get going, but since you have things like Spire Tracer and things with Undying, you can be attacking a lot, and you often can get this to pop off. Got 2 copies of the Reclamation Sage. It's just another elf body on the field, plus sometimes you can destroy an artifact or enchantment. Got 4 copies of the Timberwatch Elf, who is the kind of the engine of the deck, which you tap him and he gives another creature +X/+X, where X is the number of elves on the battlefield. By the time you start doing that, you're already going to have a couple Spire Tracers, maybe a Visionary or 2. So he's gonna, and he himself is an elf. Plus it's elves on the battlefield, so if your opponent drops the Elvish Visionary, that helps you out with him too. So we've got 2 copies of Master Mirrors, a little bit bigger elf, but he draws you a card, and if he dies, he just comes back. So you can feel free to chump with him all the time. Paragon of Eternal Wilds is not an elf, but she's got a wolf. But the main reason we're keeping her around is because she gives all other green creatures +1/+1. And she can give someone trample. So if you hit someone up with Timberwatch and they block, you can give them trample and get some more damage in. Running 3 copies of Raised by Wolves, which this card being added to the game is pretty much the reason this whole deck is being made. It's enchantment. You put 2/2 green wolves into play, and the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each wolf you control. So we do have a couple wolves down here, plus the wolves from this. So this can help you get a big creature, which you can then give trample. Running 1 copy of the Phytotitan. I try to run this guy in pretty much every green deck I make. I love this card. He's slow, but he's a 7/2, so he's a threat, and you can just attack with him every single turn for the most part. Well, every other turn, because he has to come back. And then finally we're rounding it out with 2 copies of Hall of Triumph, which of course you'll pick green to bump up all these elves and these wolves and your plants and your various things. For land, we're just running 22 forests. Most of our curve is 3 or below, so 22 is fine. Overall, I mean, this is a simple little deck, simple little aggro deck. We will play some games with it, see how it does. Hopefully we win a whole bunch. Deck list is in the comment below. So let's get in some games and see how we do.